Hi everyone, we are the Group 2 and we will report what is interview.
What is an interview? An interview is a formal face-to-face meeting, especially once arranged for the assessment of the qualification of an applicant. As for employment or admission, a conversation as one conducted by a reporter in which facts or statements are elicited from another. So, the interview is the primary technique for information gathering during the system analysis phases of the development project. It is skill which must be mastered every analyst. The interviewing skills of the analyst determine what information is gathered and the quality depth of that information. So interviewing, observation, and the research are the primary tools of the analyst. So the interview is a specific form or meeting or conference and it is usually limited to two persons, the interviewer and the interview. In the special circumstance, there may be more than one interviewer or more than one interview than one attendance. In these cases, there should still be one primary interviewer and one primary interview.
Types of interview. During the analysis process, interview for a variety of goals in mind. An interview can be conducted at various times within the process for. There are six types of interview. The first type of interview is initial introduction. When interviewing in a person, be prepared to introduce yourself to the person who greets you, mentioning your name, the time you're interviewing is scheduled, and you're scheduled to meet with. Second is familiarization or background. This type of interview is gaining knowledge or understand from the person you want to interview. Third is facts gathering. This is directed conversation with a specific purpose that uses a question and answer format. Fourth is verification of information gathered elsewhere. In this interview, you should verify or check the information that you gathered are facts or real. And the fifth one is confirmation of information gathered from the interviewee. This type of interview is confirming the information you gathered from the person you interviewed. And lastly, number six, follow up application and clarification. Clarifying questions are questions that the listener asks the speaker in a attempt of eliminating or preventing a misunderstanding, confusion, or ambiguity.
What are the goals of the interview? So at each level of the interview and in each phase and in each interviewee, an interview may be conducted to gather information on the company. So maybe the interviewee is still trying to cope with uh, the company, and he gets curious and wants to get more information on what he is applying for. The second is gather information on the function. So yes, like the first, the interviewee will be gathering information about the company and its function and the basic principles of the company to gather. And the third is gather information on processes or activities. These shall be like stated, like the rules and regulations uh, of the company, the fund side of the company, and and the process and activities. This may be including the holidays and all the work-related stuff that may get you going. The fourth would be to uncover problems, and which maybe an employee is interviewed by one of his or her supervisors. Maybe there is a problem and he has a personal say to a problem that needs to be done or need to be worked on right away. And the fifth would be conduct a needs determination. So it's like enforcing. So it's like redetermining the determination of the employee, in which if he gets get low performance and ask in which what is the problem, his personal life, anything that may affect his or her work, his or her work mentally or physically. So the sixth would be an interview. One of the goals of the interview is number 6 is to verify, or the verification of previously gathered facts. So these are like secondary data which are not from the source, meaning it's not really from the person, but it's from another person or from another source. It's not really that you heard from the person itself and something like that. And whenever you question the employee and which that he has to answer about the problem or the issues that are going on, to like confirm whether it is real or not, or something like that. So the 7th is to gather opinions or viewpoints. So on this, it's really important that to gather opinions and viewpoints. It's like having a suggestion box, but with a face-to-face confrontation. So whenever a supervisor or a manager is giving an interview on his or her subordinates, they can determine problems in which that maybe they can solve easily, and maybe more complex or simple, depending on the viewpoint of the employee that needs that has his or her own opinion. So eighth goal of an interview is to provide information. So this information may be work related or about making the employee get more work done, to provide smooth operation on the workplace. Yeah. So, and the 9th would be to the last and the 9th goal of the interview is to obtain leads for further interviews. So it's like whenever there's someone who passed, an interviewee who passed the initial and even the final interviews, and he gets hired, so that interviewee, or maybe the employee right now, he can like refer a friend to get more interviewees. Yes, and that would be all for the 9 goals of the interview. And up next would be the interviewing guidelines. Thank you so much.
If this virus species, then species is a job interview can be broken down into four general stage like instructions, breed questions and answer positions related questions, and the conclusion is interview questions and questions you can ask interview, and the variety conversation in which you can employer exchange information. Your objective is to get an offer of a job. Employer's objective is to find out the offered job, and the employer's objective is to find out the following: uh, what you have the offer, then like your skills, abilities, basic and knowledge. Then the importance of properly conducted interview should be self-evident, since which interview is in fact a personal exchange of information between two personalities. A set of guidelines for the interview should be established to ensure that nothing interferes with the stated goal. Then gathering complete, accurate information in the interview is not an advisory relationship. Instead, it should be a conversation. Above all, it is a process. It has certain rules and guidelines which should be followed.
First and foremost, establish the tone of the interview. Then, let the interviewee know the reasons for the interview and why he or she was. Number 3, selected to be interviewed. Stress that the interview's knowledge and opinions are important and will aid in the analysis process. Gain the interviewee's trust and cooperation early on and maintain it throughout. Establish what will happen to the information gathered. Determine any areas of confidentiality or restricted information. Let the interview know that candor and honesty will be valued and that nothing will be published or passed on until it has been reviewed and verified by the interview. Firmly establish that there are no negative consequences to being interviewed.